It's time, fight fans and degenerate gamblers. Welcome to the Thick Boys Fight Club, where there are only two rules. Rule number one, always talk about Thick Boys Fight Club. Rule number two, talk about Thick Boys Fight Club even if no one wants to talk about Thick Boys Fight Club.
All right. We are back once again. I'm Nick.
And I'm Ty Stewart. And
guys.
Really quickly, I just going to, again, guys, we've got our raffle coming up for a Stipe or DC or Daniel Cormier t-shirt coming for their upcoming bout. We're going to be doing the drawing on August 10th. And the way you enter is by subscribing and like and comment on a video. For each video you like and comment on, you'll be entered in the raffle additionally. So, you can have up to, I don't know how many more episodes we got before then, but something like 4 or 5. So definitely like and comment, and we'll get your information, your size. We're going to pick the specific shirt. You're just going to tell us which fighter you want. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Then I guess we'll jump into the news.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. So the big one for me, which is really sad to hear, is I guess this was Fabricio Werdum's final fight on his contract and does not have any interest in signing or re-signing with the UFC. He said he has no ill feelings or anything towards them. He just wants to go about finishing his career on his own terms in his own way. So best of luck to him. I've really enjoyed watching him here throughout the UFC. He's had some amazing fights, being the first man to beat Fedor Emelianenko, although that was in Strikeforce. Then beating Cain Velasquez for the heavyweight title in the UFC up in Mexico City, beating a man with better cardio who was the king of cardio at the time. Just best of luck to that guy.
But do you think he's saying that right now, like UFC could offer him the amount of money he needs, or you think maybe Bellator's already offered him the more money and that's kind of why he's saying that stuff?
Yeah, I would think it's probably he's going to go to Bellator or something, like, not to be a dick or anything. He's
old.
I think he's a little bit older. He's probably looking for big money fights where he can be competitive and it's not as dangerous for him. Like, realistically, if I was his manager, I would be like, I don't want you to fight Francis Ngannou.
100%.
Yeah, that's not a good fight for you.
I don't think anyone wants to see that, honestly.
Right. It's like you're not as quick as him. Like, yes, your jiu-jitsu is way better, but it's still a really scary fight. There's better matchups outside of the UFC where he could become a champion, and get paid big money for it.
For sure.
Where here in the UFC, it's like, man, look, the baddest dudes in the planet are here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then the other bit of news was we wanted to discuss a little bit about the Francis Trinaldo and Justin Herbert late stoppage. I believe Dan Hardy was talking some shit to Herb Dean, saying that, he took too long to stop the fight. He was endangering the fighter. Nick, how did you feel about it?
Well, Dan Hardy's stood on the side. A complete third party in this whole thing really has no business speaking during the match, yelling to stop the fight. It's a hard thing just because poor Herb here, it's like if he would have stopped it, I don't think anyone would have even said a thing about it. No one would have, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. Yet he didn't. He allowed the fighter to try to do something, which I honestly agree with 100%. I think Herb truly did the right thing. I mean, all of us as fans, if your fighter's on the ground after getting cracked like that, you're going to not want the ref to jump in right away. Your heart's going to say, oh, give him 3 more seconds. He'll going to grab on and he's going to recover and everything's going to be fine. That's the way you're going to look at that situation, in my opinion. I just, and like the problem is Herb Dean is 100% right. They all know there's no fans in the stadium. 0 fans. There's only people in there that are working. So poor Herb hears that, and like he said in his video, all he has to think about is, whoa, was that the doctor or their corner that said that? Because as he stated, That is that's actually knowledge to me. I didn't know the doctor can yell, "Stop the fight," in the middle of a fight, and the referee is supposed to step in and stop the fight. And I'm sure, obviously, we know when they're in Vegas or wherever they are, when you have a million fans screaming, you're not going to hear that, so it doesn't really matter, you know. But in an arena like that where there's no one, it would matter. Which is why when he heard it, he was whoa. And he goes afterwards and talks to them. They're like, "We didn't say that." I mean, that's actually and the truth is, I think that's kind of the telltale sign there. If you go to the fighter's corner and say, "Hey, did you guys not like the way I stopped that fight?" And they're all like, "No, we thought you did the right job." I think that says enough right there, right?
Oh yeah. Look,
yeah,
I'm with Nick here. Which, no matter which way he did it, Herb was in the right. Look, if he stepped it earlier, he was defending the fighter and protecting their safety. He was just giving the fighter an opportunity because the guy did put his arms out, put one on his chin, put one reached out to defend himself. And at the end of the day, it's your job. You don't stop until the referee pulls you off. You might think, if you think it's a clean knockout and it's a walkaway knockout, then walk the fuck away.
yeah.
But even Trinaldo wasn't 100% sure the fight was over. That's why he stood over him, ready to punch him in the face again, was because he's like, is this going to get stopped? So the fact that the fighter himself who threw the punch was questioning whether the fight was over or not shows the fact that, hey, look, it was a close call. I think Herb did the right thing. Look, man, and I get it from Dan's point of view too. Him being a fighter, he was knocked out, I believe it was 4 times in a row or something in back-to-back fights. It might have been 3. So, of course, he has this whole thing of when he sees guys getting knocked out, he's looking out for their safety, thinking about the damage that they can take. Because let's be realistic here, man. Fighters are taking on a huge risk performing this sport for us. It's like, man, you know, we all know CTE is real. We all know punch drunk is a real thing. And professional fighters don't want to see other fighters go through it. So it was just one of those things. Look, Herb is the best in the business. I don't think anyone has any right questioning him. The man has been through more fights reffing than anybody else, besides maybe Big John.
100%. Yeah, I would say the only person that has any authority over him is Big John. And, you know, earlier as you and I were talking about this, the only thing I can see too, though, with poor Herb Dean is he's forever going to have in the back of his head, you know, Robbie Lawler. I mean, that had to mess with him, obviously. So
100%.
I'm sure because of that incident now, he is definitely making sure we're stopping the fight for real, you know? And, you know, sometimes guys are going to take a couple extra hits because, you know, but hey, this is fighting. This isn't goddamn fake wrestling. This is professional, real deal fighting. So
yeah, and both gentlemen knew what they signed up for and what could potentially happen to them.
The funniest thing, though, is too, you know, I don't know if you saw this in the there was in the women's prelim fight before this, the Beth Correa fight.
Oh yeah.
She, I don't know, because, you know, they're in obviously a different place and the sounds are a little different. There's no crowd. They hit they hit the sticks together for just say for 10 seconds left. Right. For some reason, Beth thought that was the end of the round and literally puts her hands down. And the girl she's fighting was KHAMZAT. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it. Sorry. But literally just starts wailing on her and almost knocks her out, like right after. Like, this is the 3rd round. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
Rookie mistake.
100%. And that's a full-on professionals doing that, you know? But, yeah, totally rookie mistake.
Yeah, sometimes you just get lost in the moment.
Which, well, I think it just kind of goes into that fight a little bit of, you know, just there's no one around. It sounds, you know what I mean? It's just, you know,
protect yourself at all times. Even if the bell rings, you should still keep your hands up for an extra second or two because you never
100%.
know when that dickhead might just throw an extra punch.
100%.
Like, we've seen dirty fighters do stuff like that. So it's at the end of the day, the best person to protect you is yourself. So
yeah,
just be on the side of caution.
Yep, for sure.
But let's go ahead and get right into it, huh?
Well, let me just real quick, guys.
Sorry.
No, just a little piece of news we want to share with you guys. This is the list of the bonuses that were handed out for that night who received $50,000. We had Tanner Boser, Tom Aspinall, Jesse Ronson, Paul Craig, and I can't pronounce his name, man, but I'll get it one of these.
KHAMZAT,
KHAMZAT, CHIMAEV, and WERDUM. Very good, guys. MAURICIO, WERDUM. Yep. And so very good. Let's get into it. Guys, we had 7 fights to break down for you on this one. Man,
That was a lot of homework.
It was a lot of homework. Glad we don't have to do that for a while. And
yeah, it was great to feel that both of us went 5-2. You know, it was a good weekend for us, so can't complain. But yeah, first up was KHAMZAT CHIMAEV, 7-0, or now officially 8-0. Coming in at minus 1100 originally. I think he moved up all the way to like almost minus 1400.
Yes.
Fighting in the welterweight division against MCKEE. Now he's 10-3-1. And I think almost plus 900. I think I saw him at like plus 850 is what I had last checked.
Well, I'll tell you guys, as I said on the show, you know, we all obviously knew KHAMZAT was going to probably win this fight, and we called it. But I would definitely put money down on MCKEE. Well, the odd went so crazy that I couldn't even put a bet down on him because of how the bookies weren't even taking money on the guy anymore because of how high it was. They were thinking the same thing I was, just in case, you know, that guy hits. So, and
I got my thing reaffirmed that yes, don't even waste a penny on fucking RHYS MCKEE.
My God, I'll tell you straight up, I am a full-on believer now. That guy is legit as fuck. I mean, he comes out after in his post-fight interview and says he would fight the same day under 2 separate weight classes and wouldn't give a fuck. I mean, who says that? Who says that?
This
Only
guy is savage like him who has nothing to lose.
He wishes there was another week of fights at Fight Island. He would fight again. I mean,
100%.
He is crazy. He's legit. I mean, what was the stats? I think this poor kid got off 2 hits.
No. 0 this time. The one before had 2 hits.
2? Oh,
so in his last 2 fights, he took 2 punches. This guy is a fucking... Like I told you guys, man, he's the fucking truth. Don't fucking sleep on him. And remember the name. He's the real deal. And expect to see him whichever weight class he decides he wants to be in, because he first fought at middleweight, then he fought at welterweight, which is even crazier. He lost 15 pounds for this fucking fight in 10 days, or 9 days. Yeah, he had to lose it in 9 days. Zero fucks, and dominated this dude.
Yeah, he's legit. Yeah, mark him on your little list. That guy, you see his name come up, you bet everything on him. No doubt.
That's right. It's crazy because let's think about guys that the only guys I probably want to see him fight at welterweight are, like, I think if you could convince Colby to do it, that's the guy. Someone with just retarded cardio, insane wrestling, and then we don't know what KHAMZAT's striking looks like, but he's he trains with Gustafsson. He could be solid as fuck. So, like, to me,
solid.
But we don't know what his cardio looks like. We assume that it's incredible.
It's got to be.
Because it's got to be. But so to me, it's like Colby makes the only one where I'd be like, okay, that would be a competitive fight.
Yeah, I would just.
That's crazy. That's what you got to think of.
Give him to a top 5 guy.
Top 10. Give him top 10.
I honestly say give him to a top 5 and let's see what happens.
No, well,
I heard the announcers that night were trying to say let him fight the champ next, and I'm like, no.
But here's the thing, right? Is if you're in the top 5, there's no way you even say yes to that fight. You're like this. No, that does nothing for me. The guy isn't even ranked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to beat someone in the top 15, then you can beat someone in the top 10. He's going to have to work his way up, but I feel sorry for anyone who the UFC forces to sign that contract. Like, you got to sign this. This isn't a question anymore.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next up,
we had Paul Craig, officially now 12-5 and
Alex Oliveira.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Alex Oliveira, now 21, 8-1. He came in as a minus 170 favorite, fighting in the welterweight division against Peter Sobotta, now 17-7-1. He came in as a plus 150. I'll jump into this real quick. Look, the line on Sobotta almost went even. I think it ended at plus 115. So you're talking about $35 swing into this coming in. So I was starting to feel good, like, okay, you know, smart money's coming in behind me. But you know what? Alex Oliveira looked incredible, looked in the best shape we've ever seen him. The guy looked jacked, and those kicks were savage as fuck.
Yeah, no, for sure. He looked the sharpest we've seen him in years. And thinking back to it, I think the announcers were actually kind of right what they said. You know, he got some of these personal issues behind him that were haunting him. I don't know if we all a little bit remember that, but baby mama had called the cops on him and said that he beat her up and all this stuff. This was a few months back. And yet then she was all of a sudden pregnant like a week later. There was some things going on in his life is all I'm getting at. And I think that got behind him. Maybe he's more focused than ever. I went with the pick. Just I didn't think Sobotta had it in him to beat him. And, you know, I called it right. But the way Alex did it, I mean, my God, those leg kicks were savage. Now, granted, and I'll be honest with you, though, I was a little worried there. My boy, you know, I mean, square kick to the nuts. I was like, oh, man. Then a blatant eye poke. I was like, oh, my God, they're going to take a point from this
I was surprised they didn't take a point.
I know.
Like,
I was like, oh, my God.
It wasn't like it was a glancing shot to the nuts the first time. It was full.
Where?
Dead on. And then it wasn't a glancing eye poke.
No,
it was middle finger straight gouging him in the eye. I was like, take the fucking point, man. These are two huge things to happen to this poor guy in one round.
And I loved, I think it was Paul Feller that said it. He goes, you know,
yeah,
eye gouge, excellent in a street fight.
And also, I think it was Paul Felder who said, I think someone needs to kick Alex Oliveira in the nuts now. Like, someone's got to do it back. I was like, 100%, man. You think Peter feels is great after that?
Yeah.
And then,
No, I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was very worried because I think if they went to that point, we could have been talking about your boy would have pulled it off.
Oliveira here turned this into a pure kickboxing bout and showed that he was definitely the superior striker. And poor Sobotta here couldn't get it to the ground. He waited till the second round to actually attempt his first takedown, which a little frustrating from my point of view watching, but he didn't really ever get close to getting him down.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Next up was Paul Craig, now 12-5-1, coming in as the -130 favorite, fighting in the light heavyweight division against GADZHIMURAD Antigulov, now 20-7, who is the +110 underdog. Nick?
You know, this one was Paul Craig cemented himself in again as the submission artist that he is, honestly. I mean, a quick first round submission. I mean, it went real fast. I'll be honest with you, I almost missed it because I was looking down at my phone when it happened. I had to watch the replay on that one. I didn't think he'd get it done like that, honestly. I thought this was going to go the distance, and I thought Paul was going to have to grind this one out, but got the early victory.
Yeah, no, I was watching, very impressed. I did think Paul Craig was going to get the submission to win this one. I thought that I honestly thought it was probably going to happen in the second or the third round. I thought he was going to gas Antigulov up because that's been kind of the story of his losses, is that he just goes so hard in the first round that he just puts everything into it, that in the second, third round, he doesn't have much left in the tank. But did a great job, went for a guillotine at first, had to abandon it, and did a great job under pressure, just throwing up that triangle choke and just sticking with it and cinched it up tighter and tighter with every punch that was thrown at him. It was beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. No, that was a good one. Glad I picked that one right for you guys too.
Yeah,
so that had me up. So I was, that's right. You went with Paul Craig as well on that one, correct?
Yeah. Yes. So
there we go.
I think Nick was at that point. Well, it doesn't matter. It came out the same.
Yeah.
But next up was CARLA ESPARZA, now officially 18-6. She was the +160 favorite, fighting in the strawweight division versus Marina Rodriguez, now 12-1 and 2, -170 favorite.
And, man, I was bummed about this. So bummed.
I was. Look, it's just what we know is Rodriguez has to work on her takedown defense. That's the only reason she lost.
Yeah.
Off of her back, she was throwing some beautiful elbows, sliced ESPARZA open early on in the fight. She was active off of her back, but I was wondering why isn't she putting her feet on the hips? And I was watching closely, and she was, just ESPARZA was doing a great job of rotating her hips whenever the feet were there, just shaking them right off, keeping the pressure on. She did make the same mistake twice, diving for that ankle lock at the end of the rounds, which, made 2 rounds a lot closer than they should have been, honestly. Those were big mistakes, but at the end of the day, she did everything she needed to do to seal up that decision win.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was Rodriguez, I would like to watch the fight again, honestly. But when I watched it, I instantly said this was nothing more than her coach's fault. I mean, the game plan. That's why Carla won this fight, just because they obviously watched the footage and they had the proper game plan. As Marina's just were completely, there was out the window. I mean, like you're saying, the second she was on her back, that was game over. And Carla just kept taking her down and down and down. I mean, yeah, standing up on the feet, striking, Marina cracking her, but second it would happen, Carla just had a plan. She's going to take her back down to the ground. I'm going to have my way with her for 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, it was a very simple. And so obviously Carla saw the hole in her game and they attacked it. And yeah, it's a shame that she didn't have a game plan to defend against that, obviously, like you said. Just no takedown defense, really.
Yeah, I think the game plan was to have it. She just obviously needs better wrestling coaches or wrestling teammates that can really push her and take her to that next level, because, you can see that Rodriguez has all the talent in the world to be a contender and possibly a champion one day. There's just one glaring weakness that was exposed by ESPARZA. And, if she can really just fill that hole up, then she can be one of the best in her division. No doubt in my mind.
Yep. But it was a bummer. That was a good underdog there. And I'm going to go back to this too. Guys, as the gambler in me, I see this from time to time, and it's hard because I sometimes say the opposite, but I do really agree with what I'm about to say. It's almost these women fights. I almost feel like it's a safe bet if you want to gamble to go with the underdog. Sometimes, I mean, I'm saying in a fight like this. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about Amanda Nunes. I'm not saying be fucking dumb. But I'm just saying, when you got a situation like this where it's like Carla ESPARZA, we knew had the skills. We know she's just kind of older against a girl like this who's an up-and-coming. Like, that wouldn't have been a bad bet to make, honestly. Especially at what was she? She was plus what?
Plus 160.
That's what I mean. Like, that there was value there, which I honestly, in my heart, I wish I would have picked up on that. I know I saw some footage of Mariana, and I was like, oh, my God, she's fucking truth, and so – it was what it was there, but I'm just saying for you guys in the future, maybe try to remember that. And I'll try to remind myself about that. I definitely, looking back on it, that was a sleeper right there that we totally missed. And I usually pick up on that kind of stuff.
It's hard when you see a girl like Marina Rodriguez come up and you watch her past fights. Look, like we said in the last episode, she's nasty. She's an absolute savage. And if she could have stayed on her feet, she would have fucking done it. We thought her takedown defense was going to be better than what it was. That's all it came down to.
Yeah.
It's just, look, all credit to ESPARZA. She's a great wrestler, just some incredible takedowns, made it look easy, and that's not an easy thing to do. She's just, look, former champion. What can you say?
Exactly.
But next up, the fight that won me my money back, thank God. FABRICIO WERDUM, now 24-9-1. He was a plus 285 underdog fighting in the heavyweight division against Alexander Gustafsson, now 18-7, and he was a minus 350. I am so sorry if you bet on that guy, but I told you, man, I fucking said it. The difference in their ground game is so huge. There's such a huge gap between what FABRICIO WERDUM can do and Gustafsson can do that it really shouldn't be a contest. And you know what I saw? I saw shades of Damian Maia, a guy who knew what his best skill was and just went for it. He just chased that takedown and never gave up, and he got it. And then from there, it was an easy night of work for him. It's another day in the office.
As I told you after the show and one day when we were sitting there, out of the underdogs you had picked, I said to you, I think Verdum's the one you got. And you did, don't lie. You started questioning it. When I was sitting there, you said, man, I don't know. I really think Sobotta is going to get it done. You said this to me at your house.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I didn't believe in Verdum. I said,
no.
I was more confident in Sobotta.
Yeah. And that's why, and I said, nah, I think Verdum's the one you got. So I felt it too.
I was the one who believed. You obviously did it. You came in a little scared at the end.
No, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was scared, but I just, I just want to put it out there that
Here's the question, Nick, that all the fans want to know. Did you bet on him?
No.
Nope.
Oh, wait.
All right.
No. Sorry. I
No, he
did.
didn't. The
I
answer
bet
was no, he
no,
didn't. He
I
told
did.
me. He called me and said, I wish I had hopped on that one.
Oh, you mean did I bet on Verdum? Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I did not. Gustafsson, though, I had put in a couple parlays, so he fucked me right there.
And let me tell you guys, I bet on Verdum, and it paid off.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had bet a lot on Sabota, so that did not help me so much.
Yeah, no. I unfortunately followed a couple parlays that our boy Ryan over there at his little betting website had put out. Thanks, Ryan. Great picks this week. Oh, but yeah, you know, Verdum, man, he had a game plan and he executed it perfectly. I know we were talking about this and you didn't say. I don't know, man. I look back at it again, though, man. I think Gustafsson's done. He should have. Dana White says it best. If you say you want to retire, you should probably just retire. Once that thought's in your head, as he kind of came back like, obviously, it was, oh, man, I just don't like making the weight anymore. I mean, I'll be honest with you. He just looked thick at that weight. He doesn't look like he belongs there.
Look, he can still compete. He's still one of the better guys. But this is also the reason why I took Mauricio Verdum. You're still talking about one of the best heavyweights in the world.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who lost to a series of the top contenders at light heavyweight. And you think just because you add on an extra 30 pounds, you're going to take on maybe, I don't know, I rank Verdum as easily in the top 5 at heavyweight. And you think this guy who's maybe top 5 at light heavyweight is going to jump up to heavyweight and then take on the former world champion, a guy to beat, like I said, Fedor Emelianenko, Cain Velasquez. And this dude isn't known for his incredible takedown defense, isn't known for being a good jiu-jitsu guy. And you're putting it against the only heavyweight currently right now that is a 2-time ADDC world champion and Brazilian jiu-jitsu world champion. Like, to me, this...
I know. But but look at it. Look at what else you're saying, though. You got Gustafsson here. Like, who... You're absolutely right. We're saying he can still compete, but not in the top 5. He can't compete there.
Well, no, he should. But this is the thing. He should not have taken that as his first fight at heavyweight. That was ridiculous. This is one of those things where sometimes I wonder, man, who is hiring these managers? Who is letting their fighters accept these fights? Because if I'm there, I don't care if my fighter says that I'm the best in the world. I can take anyone. And I'll be like, I believe you, bro. I believe you. But let's make sure you get to that title. Let's make sure you win this fight. Let's get you paid and make you famous. You don't need to prove and have the hardest fight of your life. Let's get you the right fights, get you paid, make you famous, and we'll still make you champ. So don't be doing these.
So as you hear, guys, if you're listening right now and you need an agent, NT Sports Agency, call us up. We will hook you up.
We will help fucking find you the right path to the top. I'm telling you, sometimes, like, I get it. Maybe the UFC kind of pressured him into this one, or there was very few opponents. But look, especially for someone like Gustafsson, this is probably going to be. He's probably got one more run left now, right?
I don't think
he loses one more.
I think he's done.
I think they give him one more fight at heavyweight. But if he loses one more fight, it's done for him.
No, I think the UFC will give him a fight. I personally think he's going to bow out now again. I think he'll say, I'm done.
But he said right before this, right? He said, I'm going to, no matter what happens in this fight, I'm here to stay.
Is that what he said? Okay.
He said,
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
But my point again, though, is I know what you're saying that he shouldn't have taken that fight. But your point is if he's him and he goes, I want to be the champion, I think he has to know it in his heart. He can't beat the guys he's going to need to beat to become the champion. That dude ain't going to be Francis Ngannou.
Right. No, look, I'm totally with you, but like he could still. But the thing is, if he gets in the cage at heavyweight, right, with Francis Ngannou, let's say he wins enough fights to get there, he still has a chance, right, a puncher's chance.
True.
But if he never wins the right fights to get there, he'll never get that chance. So that's where you, as a fighter yourself, and it's your agent's responsibility to make sure it's like, look, 9 times out of 10 you don't beat this guy. But I just want to give you the one chance out of 10, and maybe you get that one.
All right, I feel you.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Because like you said, anybody can win on any given night if the stars align.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got to get there.
But that's what
exactly. Now,
the stars are going to have to align. I'm just saying, I think when you talk about other fighters, what you're saying is more – I hear what you're saying. Don't think I don't. But I'm just saying, if I'm Gustafsson, I'm known for wanting to be a champ. I have to know – the path that I have to go to get there, the guys that I'm going to have to beat, it's nearly impossible. I mean, I just threw Francis Ngannou out there. That's not even the least of your fucking worries, to be
Right.
honest.
Well, look, if you're a fighter, if you're a fighter, you have to have a certain level of what's that word?
Tenacity.
Illusions of grandeur.
Yeah,
It's called. You're kind of a narcissist.
like
you
that.
really believe in, like, you have to have this unbelievable belief in yourself that you are the greatest thing. You're the greatest thing to happen to the world. Like, I'm the best to ever come out. And so, you know, and that's where it's the manager's responsibility to reel them in to a little bit more realism.
But like I'm saying, he already was thinking, I'm not, when he retired after that last fight. And now he just lost again. I have to think that his spirits are not the highest right now.
Look, if he wants to keep going, I hope he goes and sees a sports psychologist. I think it would be very good for him. No, there's nothing wrong with seeing one. Yeah, and definitely get yourself a new manager, bro. Let me tell you. I'm fucking trying to help you out.
Yeah.
But yeah, just talk to someone, because obviously, like you said, he's going to have a lot of doubt and questioning himself. And, you know, there's no shame in going and talking to someone about it to help rebuild your confidence and, like, you know, do what you got to do. Look, one of the greatest of all time did it. And that's George St. Pierre. So have no fucking shame. Okay? If that guy can do it, you can do it.
I'm trying to look up who his manager is right now. I'm going to laugh super hard if it's like, what's that dude's name? Ollie, whatever.
That is a great manager. Hire that dude.
Yeah, but I'm going to laugh if it is his manager. And then his guy goes on and motherfucks us next time he's like these dumbasses on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, look, while Nick's looking that up, I'll just start up the next one.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Mauricio Shogun Hua, now 27-11-1, coming in as the -185 favorite, fighting in the light heavyweight division for the trilogy fight. Rogerio Nogueira, 23-10 now, and he was a +165 favorite. And let me tell you, to me, it was a use, rinse, repeat.
Yeah,
it was the same thing again.
Good
fight.
Real quick, it's some guy named Nima Safapur. Never really. I'm sure he's some big time guy. I've never really heard of him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's big where they're from. But
yeah, so no worries.
Anyways, dude.
But yeah,
fire that dude.
We had, like Ty just said, Shogun versus Nogueira. In my opinion, it lived up to everything we thought it would. It was a great fight.
It was pretty much. It went down almost the same as all the others. Like, you know, competitive from start to finish. Nogueira would rock Shogun. Shogun would rock Nogueira. Then Shogun would go for a takedown, you know, to save himself. And then, you know, I don't really think there was any actually deep half guards that happened this time.
I'll be a little upset, and I hate that we have to bring this up again. I was a little upset with the judging, and I really felt there was some biased shit going on there for Nogueira. I can't believe one judge scored him winning the fight. I thought that was complete bullshit. It was 100%, and I confirmed it looking at verdict. You guys all felt the same way. Shogun got first in the third. If you did not see that fight like that, I don't know what the fuck you were watching.
But it was on two spectrums, right? Like, you had the guy who thought Nogueira won the fight, and then you had the other idiot who thought Shogun won all 3 rounds, which was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. That's true, too. So that's
thank God there was one sane person in the room.
Yeah,
like,
thank God. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that was fucking nuts. I mean, I hate that once again we have to bring it up, but I mean, my God, please, Dana.
If you guys are fans of the UFC, go get a job, because it obviously isn't that fucking hard.
Yeah, anyone can be a fucking referee for UFC.
Obviously, you don't have to be a lifelong martial artist or have competed in the sport at all. You can just go, hey, I watch fights all the time, man. I'd be perfect for this.
Can you imagine if verdict got so big that that's how they scored these fucking fights? Like, all of us went on our phones and fucking logged in.
Yeah, but we couldn't do that. The only reason is, do you remember that time when Dana only did this once? Where he told the fans, I'm going to let you guys vote for who won fight of the night.
Okay.
And it was a George St. Pierre card. And I forgot who the actual fight of the night was. Great fight happened. But every fucking casual fan voted for George St. Pierre. And it was one of his usual boring-ass controlling fights, which, given, was a fucking masterpiece, but it wasn't fucking fight of the night, I'll tell you that much. Yeah. And Dana White had to say, we'll never fucking do that again. We'll never leave it in the hands of the fans, because that's fucking ridiculous. And so now, I'm just saying, there's no way we can allow the general population to decide these fights.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, can you imagine if a general population scored Conor McGregor beating fucking Anyone. It wouldn't even matter what happened. Oh, the guys, unanimously, Conor McGregor wins every round.
Conor got dropped twice in the first round, but he was scored a 10-8 for him. And you're just like, what?
Exactly. That's exactly what would happen. So, yeah, no, you're absolutely right there. The other thing is when you bet, obviously, you're more leaning towards the guy you picked. So
exactly. I think your solution to having 5 judges, I think that's the only real logical thing to do.
It is.
But
it is.
Let's move on. We've already beat that dead horse several times. So on to the middleweight main card or main event of the evening. We had our boy Bobby motherfucking Knuckles, aka Robert Whittaker, now 22-5, coming in as the -130 favorite, fighting Darren the Vanilla Gorilla Till, now 18-3-1, who is a +110 underdog. And let me tell you, it was a lot closer of a fight than I thought it was going to be.
Way closer. I'm actually shocked that it went over. I'll say that first off. As I said, that was going to be my little secret side bet. I was going to say, man, pound that under. I thought it would have been first round, second round, and it almost was. I mean, Whittaker got rocked in that first round, and then Whittaker rocked Till in the second round.
Yeah.
And, I mean, whew. I can tell you, man, my heart dropped. When Whittaker got dropped, my heart dropped, man.
Yeah. I will say for Till, man, he really his skill set really shines when his opponents really do bring the best out of him. Because, like we said, we aren't huge fans of Till, but after watching that fight, I'm not gonna lie, I loved watching Till fight. It was, you knew he was fucking dangerous every second of that fight. And that he could end it at any moment. And his technique looked a lot more sound than Robert Whittaker's. Like Bobby Knuckles was swinging, headhunting out there. And Till stuck to his game plan, stayed on the outside, really picked his shot, very sharp. But Robert Whittaker did what I loved, because coming into that 5th round, I had it scored 2-2. What did you have it, Nick?
Yeah, I had it 2-2. Well, no, I actually had it. I had Whittaker winning the fight at that moment, but
3-1.
I had it 3-1, but I said logically it really could very well be 2-2 right now. That was the way to look at it, because if I wouldn't have wanted Robert to think, oh, it's 3-1, I'm just going to cruise. That would have been devastating. So I'm glad he saw the same thing, but I thought either way. But personally, I did have it 3-1 is what I was thinking.
Yeah, I personally had it 2-2. It was really close, and Robert Whittaker did what something I talk about here on the show all the time, is he showed he is a complete mixed martial artist. He knew the fight was so close on the feet that either one of them could win the round to decide the fight. And what does he do? He mixes in takedowns. He does something that his opponent can't do to prove that he is the more complete fighter, and he has more tools at his disposal that he can use to win a fight. And that's what won it. Like, to me, that's what won the fight, were those last couple takedowns at the end of the round and really put the stamp on it. Because if he didn't, literally that round could have gone either way.
And it wasn't.
It was so tight.
It wasn't just one. It was 2 in a row. Bang, bang.
And he just stuck with it and just never let go. And and that's what he needed to do. And that's what I'm talking about. These guys need to have so many tools at their disposal. You are literally doing yourself a disservice if you only stick to the thing you come into the UFC with. If you come in as on this amazing kickboxer or Muay Thai guy and you never learn how to be an offensive wrestler, you're doing yourself a disservice, just as it is to wrestler. Oh, I'm so good at takedowns, I don't need to learn how to stand up and be this, elite kickboxer. Only doing yourself a disservice, because eventually someone's going to come around with the tools to stop what you're good at or compete with you.
I mean, the other thing is Whittaker was so smart to do those takedowns, truly just because, gotta be honest, I was a little worried there that last 10 seconds. He had a huge gouge cut in the top of his head. Can you imagine what a fucking shame that would have been if they would have stopped that, had a doctor come in, and if a doctor possibly would have shut that down because of that with 10 seconds left. I'm glad. I think Robert knew that is a possibility, possibly, because, there was blood everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So he dug his forehead straight into Till's body, you know, and just ended it quickly like that. Thank God he did that. I'm not sure if that, the funniest thing, I would love to know if that's possibly another reason why he did that, not even thinking about the takedowns for the points. I'm sure he did, but it's very possible that he was like, man, I just want to try and hide my head real quick, you know, and not to have anything happen. The other thing that was a little interesting there at the very tail end, I don't know, it was Herb that was reffing that fight, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
I think
really
it
remember.
was. I don't. Whoever the ref was, I'm not sure, but he like kind of paused the fight right when the cut happened, but he thought it was because I think he thought Whittaker hit Till with an eye poke, because he kind of looked at Till like, "Are you okay?" And then Till was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Let's go." And he's like, "Okay, fight." You know, that was kind of an odd thing right there, and it was like with 15 seconds left. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
That's the thing, right? You can't, like, if he did get poked in the eye, he can't just let Robert just start, you know, swinging on him with 15 seconds left and just win the round.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Yeah. So he was just, you know, he was helping the guy he thought was at a disadvantage.
For sure.
But yeah,
guys, nonetheless, it was an excellent fight, excellent main event, excellent fight to cap off Fight Island.
Yep. And very bright. Look, let me say, I just want to say real quick, very bright future for Darren Till. Look, he may have lost this fight, but he made me a fan. And, you know, I'm sure for every fan he wins, he's very happy with himself. And I have a feeling, you know, this guy's going to be one of the top guys in the division. Do I think he's going to beat a guy like Paulo Costa or Israel Adesanya? Maybe in the future, we'll see. But right now, I think this is probably the best thing for him, to lose this fight and then kind of build himself back up. You know, maybe get a little bit better. But he looked incredible.
For sure. All right, guys. Well, that is all for us tonight. We will be back. We got next Wednesday night, guys. We got the main event. We got Brunson versus Edmund Shabazan. We'll look forward to that one. Break that fight card down for you. We're glad that
we'll practice our enunciation of that name before.
Anyway, sorry about that, but we'll little 5 fight card thing, and we'll be back in Vegas, so back to normal times. We'll be able to end all that misery for those poor fighter guys. And as we said before, guys, please like and subscribe and comment if you want to be entered in the contest. By all means, you got a free T-shirt coming your way for the big fight.
The
DC,
the heavyweight championship of the world.
DC versus Stipe, your pick.
Who is the greatest heavyweight of all time? Is it my boy, Daniel Cormier?
Or is it my boy,
Stipe Miocic?
So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for listening once again. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Yeah, until next time. Peace.
All right.